We're live apparently. Like, I'm just testing out these new. Well, I say these new streaming features. It's probably been here for years, but I've never used it before. My phone is ancient and broken, and it's having a terrible time actually trying to capture video and stream at the same time because it's fine doing this. It's like fine being broken and like not capturing any video, but capturing the audio. So I don't know what's going on there. I I'm kind of fine with this. I mean, oh, orientation is locked. I'm trying to like put my phone down. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Okay, I'll comply with that. Pop you down there. Prop you up on some Transformers Armada stickers. There we go. So I don't know why it doesn't want to capture video and stream at the same time, other than it being an ancient phone that shattered. I was gonna do a wee video where I talk about, Transformers, specifically the wee Prime Masters I got, because I was gonna catch up on my hauls, and I think I got these Prime Masters like, I'll move the phone closer to me so you can hear me. I think I got these Prime Masters months ago. I went to, I think was it Livingston, Linlithgow, Livingston, something like that, and they had a massive, massive Asda. And I went on a wee mental one. I was like, oh no, there's a massive Asda here. I know that the Prime Masters are only like £3 now. We need to go to the Asda. And then I forced my friends and my girlfriend to take me to the Asda. And we did. And it was beautiful. It was the biggest Asda I've ever been in, I think. I'm pretty sure it was lovely. It was probably even massiver during the day because it wasn't. It's one of those. It was Asda, right? It was connected to a shopping centre. I was blown away. It was mental. You looked down like the checkout line, like the checkouts. You looked down the checkout line and it was huge. It went on for miles and miles and miles. And then we got to the toy section, and it was like two or three full. It was like a toy zone. My wee eyes just lit up. And they had a fairly fine, just bumped the table there, fairly fine Transformers selection. I was actually quite chuffed. They had loads of this new Cyberverse stuff, which a month ago or even 2 to 3 weeks ago was a crazy find. Really, I didn't buy any of it because the stuff that they had isn't the stuff that I want. Though I suppose I should divvy up my content. Maybe next video we'll talk about the Cyberverse stuff because today, right now, right live at this moment in time, we're here to talk about Prime Masters. And this would probably go a lot smoother if I could show you Prime Masters and the Prime Masters I got, and if I like looked up their names because I can't. Well, I know one of them's Metal Hawk. I know because the blue guy. I got the Metal Hawk, the basic blue normal dude man because I had him, and I got Skullgrin. Is that his name? I I draw a blank. I don't actually ken. He's outside of my zone of knowledge on Transformers. He's one of those late G1 guys that I don't know that much about. I know that he was a movie star. I think that was his like one comic appearance or one starring appearance was he got to be a movie star, which that's always a fun thing to do with Transformers, especially Decepticons. When you give them a bit of love and they're fine. They don't. I don't think he killed people in that issue, but he might have. I actually got a lot of G1 issues from my friend Ewan the other week there. Probably a month ago now. Should probably write down when things happen if I'm going to talk about them. But yeah, he gave me some G1 issues and I was spoiled rotten. They were beautiful. So we might, if we get visuals at some point, we might like just sit and read through them. Because you can do anything with streaming nowadays, can't you? It's a magical thing, these technologums. What was I talking about? Aye, Prime Masters. Got them because, like, you might be thinking to yourself, Craig, like, we've had Prime Masters for like a year now. You might have, but I certainly didn't. I've not seen them in the wild at all. Like, I know distribution on Hasbro's end is a very like, Hasbro, get yourself together and do distribution, right? I know it's like that, but it's been really, really terrible for like a year. And I know it's been terrible for like I feel like I could get Titans Return dudes, right? I feel like there was like a weird moment in time where Sainsbury's, my local Sainsbury's, had Titan Return dudes. They had Combiner Wars guys before that. They had hell of Combiner Wars guys before that. They had like whatchamafface. They had Constructicon, not Constructicon, Combaticon wave for months, and before that they had Protectobots, and I might have bought a Protectobot from Sainsbury's. That yeah, I think I got Streetwise from Sainsbury's. They had a Rook. Yeah, that's what it was. They had a Rook, and I got Rook from Sainsbury's, and that was a really happy day because I got him, and he was like a tenner. He was really cheap, and I was like, I'm like, and they didn't have any others. They just had Rook, and then they had like not Red Alert. What's his face? First Aid and Other Man. They had Blades, but I already had them. But they had the Rook, and that was crazy. And then the time I went back to check again if they'd gotten Streetwise in, they did, but it was like £17. And that wasn't like a good buy. That was like a bad buy. That was like, ugh, you know? I like Streetwise a lot. He's a cool toy. He's one of the, I mean, that dead end mold is good, and he wears it well. And he was one of the first. Was he the first dead end mold I got? Point is, paying full price for Transformers is not a good feel. It just feels, especially when you can get them, on sale in the same place days before, or weeks before, or whatever. It left a bad taste in my mouth. Did Streetwise. But what was I talking about? Prime Masters, yeah. Did not see them in the wild at all. Like I don't. It's something about Smiths. Smiths haven't carried any of the wee guys. Like they didn't have Titan Masters for the entire run of Titan's Return. I had to go into Glasgow to get them, and I think my Toys R Us before it closed down that had Titan's Return Titan Mastery dudes. But then like Smiths just for whatever reason maybe your Smiths carries them, but my Smiths never ever carried them, and like. I sought out the Titan Masters because I really needed a lot. I needed Ape Face and I needed Brawn and his wee Brum car, but yeah, I didn't seek out the Prime Masters as much because I don't know. I've just not been going into Glasgow as much this year, so I guess I never really had the opportunity. So when I was near that ASDA, and because someone on Twitter or was it one of the guys on Instagram had did a wee post and they were saying that Asda were doing Titan Masters for £3, and I was like, oh my lord, I need to get them. So I got Metalhawk and Skullgrin. I'm saying it's Skullgrin for now. I'm going to look it up immediately after this and feel very, very red raw in the face for being embarrassed if it's not Skullgrin. But he's got a skull, like he's not necessarily grinning. I don't know if I like the Prime Masters as much as I like the Titan Masters. The Prime Masters kind of just stand there and look pretty. Like they are nice molds for like how small they are. And I like the one thing, my favorite thing, I should probably open with a positive on them. I really like that you can see the wee Titan Master dude or Prime Master dude's face through the battlesuit. For whatever reason, see if you couldn't see that, I'd feel like really bummed out about these guys. I wouldn't be into them as much as I am, but because you can close like the front of it and still see wee Metalhawks or Vector Prime, I should say, because that's what they're advertising as the Prime Masters. As you can still see his face as you close it. See, like I know this isn't working because we haven't got video, and I'm just audibly describing what Transformers do to you. But I'm having a good time. It's almost 10 minutes, We can get that algorithm going very well. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Quite like that one feature of the Titan Masters, but they aren't necessarily very good Transformers, because, like, one of them turns into a nondescript, not that wieldable gun, and the other one, that was the sound of him transforming, and the other one transforms into, like, some like Wolverine claws or like a gardening implement of some kind, like that one Street Fighter has. And I'm sure there's a good way to do that on Transformers, but it doesn't work when like that kind of a weapon is just jutting out of the back of this pink skeleton man. I quite like. I'm kind of into that because they only have like arms. Their arms swivel, and that's their pose ability. And I'm kind of into that. They just they're like statuesque. They kind of just stand there and be wee. And I guess I've not given them that much credit. They've got wee like, is it 3mm? Yeah, like 3mm holdy hands, so they could hold guns if you had those like Cyberverse, prime Cyberverse guns lying about. So you could make them Gears of War dudes if you wanted, or give them wee hammers. I don't know any of the other 3mm weapons. I wasn't into Transformers when the wee clip system was going about, so I don't know if that could play into it. But yeah, I don't think I have to talk as much really when I'm doing live streams because it's live. I can just stand here and be like, "Hey, this is raw audio, rawdio." Aye. I can see that someone was watching us, if that's what the wee person icon means. Like somebody was sitting there for at least 5 minutes listening to this waffle. That was quite a good vibe. I was pretty chuffed. But now there's nobody, and I'm like, what am I doing this for? Where's my content? Where's my adulation? To get back on track, I quite like the Prime Masters. Like they've got matrices on the back of them, and like some of them are like the matrix of leadership, or some of them's like is Vector Prime's like matrix of time, or I don't know. But you can play that. It's a very playable, imaginative imagination feature, and you can plug them into like Titans Return dudes, and you can make the like Functionist Council from Lost Light, More Than Meets the Eye fame, or No Face dudes, and they do look pretty good. I've taken a few pictures with them, and they did well for me. I liked the look of them. They were quite stark and a wee bit scary looking, which I quite liked. You'll hear that a lot. You'll hear things like like saying, I quite like that. That was a good feature. That was a good feature of this plastic toy." But yes, I think I've run out of things to say about the Prime Masters. I mean, like all Transformers, I would have more if I could have more. The problem is they cost money, and the distribution of them is hard to get. I'm quite into Bludgeon now. Ewan gave me the G2 comics, the UK G2 comics that we'll have a look at some point, and like Bludgeon was in that, and he got his head ripped off by Megatron, and that was a good reappearance, and like that splash page where like their attack in London was really good. So since then, I've thought a lot about Bludgeon and getting a Bludgeon in my life because I don't own one. I do not own a Bludgeon of any kind, to my knowledge. I should probably stress that. To my knowledge, I don't. Maybe I've got a bot shot one somewhere because I got a big bag of them and haven't really thought about them other than the Jetfire or the Megatron. The Megatron was great, but I might get a Titan. Not Titan Master, Prime Master Bludgeon. Might get one of them if I can find them. I don't know the state of the waves in the UK. I could go online. Like I could just go online and buy all the Transformers that I want. But I didn't like that. Like hunting them in the wild. That's part of the fun. And the sadness when you don't find them for a year and then they move on to like the new toy line, which we'll talk about in another video. Don't you worry, we will. We've got a lot of space to fill, you and me. 0 viewers. I'm very afraid to press any of the buttons on the screen because there's like a chat button and like a wand of some kind, probably edits and stuff, and like you can flip the thing. Maybe if I start like this and then flip the video, we could work out video. But I'm not gonna risk that right now because we've done about 15 minutes of awful waffle. Hey, definitely want the Bludgeon. Like I say, I can see the appeal of them just kind of all lined up on a wee shelf standing together. And I quite like the concept of pretenders in general. Like I like that era of G1 where they were just really weird and like uniconic. Because I'm really, really sick of like basic ass G1 with its Optimus Primes and its Megatrons and its Starscreams. We'll talk about that when we get to Cyberverse, but I, I mean, I thought I was sick of it. Someone on Twitter was showing me pictures of Siege Optimus yesterday. Was it Queen Stooge? I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I've got aggressive dyspraxia, so that's what it looks like when I read your tweets. But yeah, they were showing me pictures. Is Siege Prime, and he looks amazing. Like, I don't know why I didn't notice at the time when the like images came out. He looks amazing. He looks like I hope he's very posable. Like, I don't necessarily care about the weird not space truck alt mode. I'm not a big alt mode fan in Transformers, really. I mean, I just like the robots, and like very occasionally like the new Bumblebee that's a Volkswagen. That I bought that because of the alt mode, but yeah, I'm not too bothered about that. But my god, that robot mode on Prime, he looks like I'm a wee bit sour because I just got Classics Prime many years too late. I got him at a con. We'll talk about him in another video. But yeah, I'm sour because I just got him, and the new Siege one looks amazing. He looks like a cartoon. I know that's what they're going for, like like cartoon model or whatever. But he, there's something about having like a really solid G1 Prime standing about, not necessarily being like the mainstay of like a photo or whatever, but like having him there to like complement the other like G1 looking dudes really like does good stuff. That said, I'm very sick of Optimus Prime and standard G1 dudes. Like, I know I have no right to say that because we've just come through like two toy lines of like crazy weird guys, like all of the special team combiners and every weird bastard from Titan's Return. But when you see all the Cyberverse stuff, and it's just like relentless different versions of Optimus, Starscream, Bumblebee, and Megatron. And I know it's the first wave, and I know it'll probably get cool, but it's that combined with like the evergreen stuff, and it just feels like there's a million different versions of those dudes. So like, I know it's not a problem. It's nothing to complain about, really, because you've got all the options. But I'm kind of sick of it. I'm kind of sick of it. But I would get a bludgeon, quite like the base shape of the Prime Masters, because that's what this video is about, is these Prime Masters. I quite like, because like the Titans Return, Titan Mastery dudes, I really like their... I mean, I wish they had like individual legs, but other than that, I really like the scale of them, and I really like how they interact with the toys in general. Like, it's a really fun play pattern. 1 wee second, I've been shouting on. Hello? I'm live streaming. Yeah. Who do you think was done? No, I've just been talking relentlessly. I'm in my special room. Not far. Oh, we got the ground. Love you, Ryan. Very shortly. Aye, so where was I? Aye, I quite like the Titan Masters. Quite like their base mods. Like, I like everything about them. So I like that they went for it again. Like, I like that, like the fact that we got Pretenders in 2018/2017, whenever it was, Power of the Primes was actually meant to come out, is mental. It's mental that they have gone that weird. So like, I guess I have no right to complain about like, oh, it's G1 again. But see when Siege. We'll talk about Siege. We'll talk about Siege. Prime Masters. I quite like them. They're not. There's nothing really to talk about. It's weird, you know. They're basically sticks with arms, and I like their gimmick. I like the wee fold open thing and they pop out. It reminds me of Man Blade for some reason. I've got vague memories of Man Blade playing on Fox Kids back in the, let's assume, 90s. It might have been early 90s by the time I was watching it, but it reminds me of him because he like plugged into a bigger robot, didn't he? I'll look that up as well. I should probably have something to look things up with while I'm talking, but like I say, old phone, barely holding together it is. 20 minutes! That's a nice feature. You can see seconds go really fast on this. Good lord. Just popping along, isn't it? You know how they say brevity is like the soul of wit. We've kind of passed that, haven't we? Prime Master. How many more times can I say Prime Masters in this video? Quite a lot, I'd imagine. Too much? Probably. A horrific amount, definitely. What? Yeah. Prime Masters. It's vaguely late in the evening, and I've just came in for work and had dinner, so I'm quite sleepy. But I like that vibe. I was thinking about that, thinking to try and make that the vibe of these videos when they were going to be videos and not just blackness and audio. Good, like God knows if like the actual audio has been captured. We'll see. We'll see, and hopefully the phone doesn't die before. Well, see, maybe it gets stored because it looked like things were getting stored even when the video was glitching out and crashing while 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 the video wasn't working. And yeah, so maybe if the phone dies, it won't be a problem. But yeah, this is what this is. So we tested the streaming features. I've been meaning to get back making videos. It's been like a year. My laptop died, and then they took away. That happened at the same time that YouTube took away its video editing stuff. So I felt really deflated and didn't want to go out and acquire or buy actual video editing stuff. And then my laptop died, so I don't really had anything to make videos with. But I had a lot of fun making those old videos. They might not be any kind of quality, but I had a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a good time. There was that one where I was doing the McDonald's toys of the Adventure Time dudes, and I failed to do their gimmick, like, which is like a head swap, and somehow I failed to do it between two guys. You know, it was good times. It was good. It was good day. It was good. Skullgrin, if that is his name, has a wee really cool belt with a skull on it, and he himself has a skull face. Like he's really going for it. You know, Metal Hawk slash Vector Prime is just a standard blue heroic auto dude, which is a vibe, but you gotta be in the mood for that. You know, a lot of the time it comes off as kind of just bland and vague, but then you know sometimes you're like, yeah, it's like heroic super robot action, and you know, makes you feel good. Professional yawn. Aye, 23 minutes. I should stop commenting on the time. That's not very professional, is it? You know. Aye, we're doing very well. We're 23 minutes into a video. No, that's not what you want to hear. If you can hear this at all. I mean, I might just keep going until someone notices. You know, until that viewer thing pops back up to 1, and that can be our achievement for the day. We can just like relentlessly describe every single tiny detail on these Prime Masters. Yes, I probably like if I could have access to them at a reasonable price, I would probably have a full set of them. Bludgeon would be the main get. Oh, that's what I was getting at. I was trying to talk about how like I wanted like customize the bludgeon up. There's like I want to get like a drift, a movie drift, and make him into like a bludgeon, because that would be quite cracking looking. I think I've seen it done. You know, it's not an original idea. It's a steal from Instagram or Twitter, but you know. And I know there's like official ways to get him, but I want to get into customizing a bit more. And he seems like a fun one to do, and he's like a samurai with skull for a head, so it's a fun place to start. You know. Um, Skullgrin again also has like fishnet thighs for some reason. Don't really. Maybe that's a feature of the G1 dude. I don't know anything about him. Could look him up, but I want to say probably didn't have fleshy fishnet thighs. Deeply alluring though, you know. That's what you want. That's what you want on the battlefield. I'm trying. I guess I'm not trying, but it's fun that this hasn't crashed yet. Yeah, that's mainly why this is 25 minutes long, is because it hasn't crashed yet. I had a point. I did. I definitely had some kind of point about the Prime Masters, some kind of thing to say about them that was meaningful and not waffle to pad things out. Oh yeah, they're doing Target Masters next year. That's what it is. Yeah, it's cool that they did it for the Titans Return dudes, the Titans Masters, and then did it again for Power of the Primes. It's cool that they use the same molds and toolings, and you can do cross compatibility things. You can like plug Titan Masters in. You can see their wee faces behind the masks. It's cool. I'm super stoked that they're doing Target Masters for Siege. I'll like depending on the price, because like I'm always hyped for things, and then I go into the shops and I'm like, oh my god, why are these scouts in Cyberverse £9, or why are the deluxes like 15 to 16? Like those toys are not worth that. Like it's such a deflating feeling. Depending on what the Target Masters are priced, hopefully it's probably about the same as the Titan dudes or the Prime dudes. I bet it'll be a bit more because Siege looks like it's skewing to that more collector's demographic than the kids' demographic, which is fine, but like, why do things cost money? Yeah, I'll be getting me a blue pipe. I know, like mainly for that card art. Did you see it? Did you see it? People like when it hit on Twitter, it was really cool. Like people are really stoked for it, and then they noticed that the card art was amazing. Whereas a wee blowpipe calling in like an airstrike patrol to do some airstrikes. That's what it looks like. I don't know if that was like confirmed or whatever, but I don't usually keep packaging other than like the Computron box and then all of the Voyager boxes because I can't seem to get rid of them. They're very useful for putting things in, but I don't usually keep the packaging. But I might have to keep the packaging there. I might have to slice it out and scrapbook it or something. And hopefully the toys are pretty good. I've not messed with any of the Kara ones, so I wouldn't ken if they're good toys. But I think it's probably just like deep seated I don't know, Vangelis envy, because like you watch his videos and he's always like back in the day and he had like fracas. There was a lot of he's done a lot of like Titan, you call him Titan, Target Master videos or Target Master adjacent videos where they turn up in, and I'm like, oh, Target Master, because I've never had Target Masters. There was something I learned about probably on the wiki first. It was one of those things. I'm not a G1 kid, so I didn't know about them. But then I heard about them, and I was like, oh my gosh, the man turns into a gun. Like he's a living gunman. That's terrible and amazing. I suppose that's what Megatron is. Is Megatron like a target master? Like I feel like that's fighting talk to some people. People probably take offense to being like, what? Megatron's not a target master. He's like a proper full size transformer, but he turns into a gun that people wield guy, and it's like, well, no, he's not binary bonded. He's not binary bonded, eh? And you're like, well, that does that matter? Probably to be like bold fool. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like that probably matters. Someone should do something with that, though. Some bit of fiction should kind of address that and be like, "Aren't you a target master, Megatron?" And he was like, "What? That's offensive. Don't say these things." Yes, I'll be getting blowpipe or a better one if a better one makes itself available. None of the Decepticons have come out for Siege yet, which I'm not bothered about. But there's very vocal people on the Twitter that are demanding Decepticons, and then they put out a blowpipe, and that seemed to only make them worse. They seem to really want Decepticons, which I'm sure we'll get. Like it's fine. Maybe it's just comedy comedy need, comedy thirst for the cons. But hopefully, I mean, maybe this I can do another 30 minutes on Siege, but hopefully, the Megatron that they're going to do, which they probably will do, which will probably turn into a tank with like an extra window or something. Hopefully, he'll look as cartoony as the Prime does, because that would be an amazing like two Primes to have. I've not got like a really good G1-ish Megatron to have about. Like I never had a G1-ish Optimus for a long time. I had my old G2 Laser Prime with his knackered knees because he's an old man now. I had him, and I had Energon Prime and Beast Hunters Prime. Beast Hunters Primes are great. I could talk for hours on him, but I didn't have like a G1 Prime until I got the Classics one. I think it's this abundance. There's this horrible problem to have this abundance of primes in an abundance of Transformers. But like, you get jealous when you see like people out there that have just got like this is a G1 Prime and this is a G1 Megatron, and here's them doing G1 things together. I mean, don't take a drink every time you hear G1, by the way, because you will die. Which I suppose is fine because there's no one listening, but classic yawn. What was I saying? Something about Siege. I suspect Siege Decepticons will be fine. I hope they have. I don't know why we got talking about Siege, but I hope. Oh yeah, it was the Target Masters. Yeah, I'm not too into the Autobot looking dude one. There's one that's like missiles or like two guns. He doesn't look as cool to me. I like ones that are just one. I don't know actually. I like to do like double-barreled Transformer guns. They're always dumb and fun. But I don't know. For some reason, when it's Target Master, it doesn't work as much for me. And then I like the Wolf one. It's something I would definitely acquire if he was cheap. But it's not something I'd go out my way for. He's got vague vibes of that Stripes mold from Titan's Return. I do own him, and I do love him, but I also got him for super cheap from A1 Toys one day. I got him, Hound, and Pipes. Yeah, I got Pipes and Stripes together, yeah. That was a good day. Yeah, there was like a sale on, and I was like, oh my god, I've not got any of these, and I love Pipes, so I'll get me a Pipes and a Stripes. Stripes is not a good toy, but he's a lovely, lovely dog, and I don't know why you would say bad things against him, other than just general horribleness, really. Siege. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Siege, as I'm looking forward to all. Oh, I've got a message here. Maybe that'll crash the thing. Dook. Dook. There we go. Everything's fine. Looking forward to Siege. I'm not looking forward to the prices. Because, like I say, I think they're skewing more collectory. I don't feel bad about not having that much Power of the Prime stuff. Power of the Primes kind of feels like a stopgap line, which I'm into. I'm into when they do like weird, not cheap things. Seems like they really want to do or change things about a little bit in Siege, product wise, if not like character story wise. It's sickening to me that they're going back to the war and just general like Autobots fighting Decepticons. I know that's what the toys are. I know that's what the whole thing is. But like we've had so much good like casual cutting about content from Transformers in the last few years. It's sad that they're going back to the war, and that might just make IDW go back to the war as well. We'll see what their reboot is, but the war again, and it just been called War for Cybertron. I don't know, man. The War for Cybertron trilogy, or is that what they're calling it? I like Siege. Siege is a good word. It's a good word to call your toy line. It's good and meaty and metally, especially with the battle damage vibe they're going for. A lot of people salty about the battle damage, and I don't think it matters that much because it's clearly like a it's clearly a. Have we seen the Takara ones yet? Have they got less battle damage? Yeah, it's clearly like a method for them to sell you two versions of the same toy, if not more. Because you'll run out and you'll get your your Siege dudes first second they hit the internet, or the first second they hit retail, and then like a couple weeks, months, years later they'll be like, and here's a Klinian where it's not got any of the battle damage, and you're like, well, I'll have to have that as well. And it's like, well, they're definitely going to do a clean one of Optimus Prime at the very least, and probably the Megs if the Megs has battle damage. Oh, I hope someone, because like the battle damage is painted on, isn't it? I hope some of them have like molded on battle damage, which I know is a worse berserk button for most people. But see if they did like a prowl with one eye, how amazing would that be? You'd buy that. I mean, they should like that's probably like a decadent thing to do for like remolds and repaints and convention exclusives or whatever. But they should totally do that. They should totally do was it Dark of the Moon Megatron that had half a face? I really like Dark of the Moon Megatron. He's my fave. He's Bay Bum Megatron. Talk for hours about him, but yeah, they should do something. If they did that, like if they made Siege Megatron like cartoon accurate, but also gave him half a face, I would definitely put money towards that. I mean, I suppose I would probably have to pay full price new. Like that's like such a niche and horrible thing to do to people that I'd probably have to give them actual money. It'd be cool if Transformers came with variant heads and stuff, but I know that's not what the toys are. That's like more collector's thing, and that's a more money thing. So I guess I'm just saying contradictory things over and over. But yeah, can you hear my chair rolling? By the way, that's me just creaking about. The Siege. We're on a roll for a bit there. There was a lot of talking without ers and es. But yeah, Siege is being looked forward to in this household. We're keenly looking out for it. When is it coming out? I don't know why I'm asking you. There's no one here. No one can chat at me to actually tell me when things are. And like I say, I can't look them up right now because I'm using my phone to do this. But tap tap. Yeah, don't feel bad about missing out a lot because I've not got any of Abominus, and I'm still missing 2 of the Dinobots. And I've not got anybody. I've not got like a Combiner Starscream or Elita one. And I have been seeing them daily on Twitter, and I'm a wee bit jealous of the Abominus. Abominus might be because I really love Prime Abominus. Like it's an incredible set of toys. Again, Vangelis made me go out and buy toys from Tesco one day because I saw the videos and I was like, well, those look like amazing individual toys, and they have like a combined mode. I'll have to get them. And this was in the days before Combiner Wars hit, at least here I want to say. And yeah, so I had to get me that combiner. So I've got a soft spot for Abominus, but I'm not too, because I know we'll get him. Like I know that's the thing. He'll turn up in B&M for Christmas. He'll be like one of those Chinese imports where they just went out and acquired loads of Transformers. Because that's where we got Skyfire, of course, and like all those like Sick Shock. B&M does incredible work. Don't know where to get them. Not questioning it really. Just going with the flow and keeping buying them. Not gotten them any of them recently. It's been a bit sad because their flow and somebody, whoever supplies them Transformers must not be supplying them Transformers right now. But I suspect we'll get some Power of the Primes lads in for Christmas. We'll definitely get that Inferno because no one really likes that Inferno, do they? And I know there's been like a kind of splashback of love from recently, but no one's going out of their way to get that Inferno, which is sad because he's a nice, brave firefighter man. But I'm sure he'll turn up in B&M or probably TK Maxx, because like that Onslaught Hotshot mold has been all over TK Maxx for like years now. So I'll be sad. I'll be literally sad if that Inferno doesn't turn up in TK Maxx within the next 6 months to a year. And if it doesn't turn up at all, I'll be devastated. Like, what are you doing, cheapo toy people, or like discount retailers, if you're not buying up all those Infernos? I suspect we'll see a lot of the Starscreams, because every time I go to Smith's, there's just a billion Starscreams and Grimlocks on those shelves. Yeah, I went to Smith's the other week, and they've had Starscreams and Grimlocks for months, and then I was like, I bet they'll have the Inferno, because Inferno Wave's out now. And they definitely did. They had no other interesting things. I mean, they've got Studio Series stuff, but I've not been piqued by that yet. like some. I mean, if they did a Jolt, I might have to buy it because I really like Jolt. I like Dark of the Moon Jolt. So if they did a Studio Series Jolt with like electro cables to hook up to Optimus and a Jetfire, if they do a Jetfire, I might invest in a Jolt. But yeah, they didn't have anything interesting last time I was in. They had because I'm on the look for the. I'm looking for cheap Cyberverse scouts. If you see any cheap Cyberverse scouts, let me ken. Let me know. I will jump on that because those look like terrible toys, but I'm really into the size scale of them. They look really cute, and if I can get them for like a fiver, that seems like a bargain. And also, I can just tell myself they're Action Masters. Like I have no idea. I should probably save this content for a Cyberverse video, but I have no idea what they were thinking with those scouts. I don't know who okayed them. I don't know who came up with the idea and thought it was a good idea. I don't quite get what they're getting at with the Cyberverse scouts, but I kinda love them. The Megatron admittedly does look really, really poor. Like there's like a bad Transformers toy that's funny, and then there's a bad Transformers toy that's got hella hollowness, and that's kind of the line for me. And like when I saw the hollowness in him, I was really saddened because it's not visible in packaging when you're having to make it. But people have had him, and he does look really bad, and he looks really awkward in his proportions and his posing of what you can do with him. But I'm kind of waiting because I don't need another Starscream, but I kind of look like how cute the Starscream mold, the Starscream Scout mold looks. So I might buy him, but I like Thundercracker more. And there's like a billion dumb repaint scouts in that cartoon, so like there's an Acid Storm coming. I think he's the deluxe, which I don't want to buy the deluxe because like those toys are definitely not worth like 15 to 16 to £17. But if I can get cheap scout ones, I'll definitely might get one of the Seekers, and I kinda want the Grimlock. The Grimlock looks really boxy, and he's got like missile shoulders and like crazy Getter Robo face. And he turns his gimmick kind of like turns him into a dino. So I can't like it's like I was really disheartened when they were £9 because I was like, I'll buy those scouts up because they look dumb and they're fun and like they're fun toys. Like it's bizarre that they don't actually transform and that's what they're going with. But I kind of want to be a part of that. Kind of want to post those pictures of like har look at these things. But £9 for a joke is just not worth it. Not when you can get better things. I know I'll probably come off sounding like, oh, £9 for this, £16 for this. Not worth it. And I'm willing to wait and take the risk that they'll turn up in Hallowed B&M and TK Maxx. Like I know they will. And I've not really seen anything out of Cyberverse. We might just talk about Cyberverse now. This video has long spiraled past Prime Masters. I'm gonna like get to an hour, turn it off, and then find out none of this audio is recorded, which I'm vaguely fine with. I've had a good time chatting about the old Transformers. We might try and get someone else in here to go back and forth with because he probably can't follow my scattered thoughts and umming and ahhing on the Transformers product of the day. But we'll see how it goes because this has been fun. I've really missed chatting to no one in particular about Transformers. I'll go and post this on Instagram and Twitter after this and be like, "Can you have a look at my thoughts on Transformers?" And people will be like, "Craig, it's like a blank video for an hour where you just ramble?" And I'm like, "Yes, could you yes." And they'll be like, "No, why would anyone do that?" And I'll be like, "Because it's content." And then there's be like a long pause and a long silence, and then I'll do it again tomorrow. But yes, Siege looks good. Cyberverse doesn't look good. I watched a couple episodes of the cartoon. Didn't realize they were like 11 minutes long each, which is probably because I don't think I could watch half an hour of those cartoons. Not bad cartoons, really. I kind of liked what I saw, and it is early days for them. They will get better because everything does get better. But I saw episodes 1 and 2 of Cyberverse yesterday, and It was on the YouTube. I don't know if it was the Cartoon Network channel or whatever, but didn't look great, like visually and actiony and plotty. Like the plot, I like where they're going with their sheer amount of characters and just dumping characters into like Preceptor was in episode 1 or 2, and there was a lot of cameos. And good God, it looks like Rung's going to be in it at some point. That all seems very promising, and the fact that it's like serialized seems very promising. What there actually is of the cartoon doesn't seem that great. I don't hate Bumblebee. I've never really hated Bumblebee. I've never really been against Bumblebee in fiction. I think he's like a cute wee guy, but he always comes off pretty standard, especially in the Michael Bay films. And the I've never liked him in Red. I know I've not watched any distance into Red, but what I've seen of Red, he always comes off as standard, kind of a boring hero in those shows. I know he's probably got moments, but like as an outside observer, did nothing to entice me in. Them combining those elements in Cyberverse to make a kind of Bay former like voice box beep bopper man with the internal memories actually having him be voice acted is a great idea, but I don't think it comes off well at all, at least in these first 2 episodes, because I've seen a lot of people saying that Bumblebee is like incredibly annoying, and I don't think he is. I just think that the voice box, the speaking through the radio gimmick, doesn't work as well in the cartoon, because it kind of seems that a lot of the things are being said, like the funny voices and audio clips are being said by the same guy, so it all kind of doesn't feel special or funny, and it all kind of just blends together into like an unfun mush of a character tick. I think it's great in concept, and I really like that he can talk in his memories and he can talk in the past or whatever. I don't know if he could talk in the past actually. Kind of, we saw like a memory where he walked up to Windblade or someone and they said something, and then he made like a squeaking noise, and it was kind of unclear if he could talk back then or I don't. I think the time for Bumblebee's voice box troubles being a thing has long passed. Like didn't like it got fixed at the end of episode 1, film 1, didn't it? And then he spoke, but then went back to it in film 2 and 3, and then like him speaking was like a plot point in the 5th one. We could talk for hours about 5, but oh my god, yeah. So when they announced that he was going to do the radio voice again, or when that came up in the press release or whatever, I kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, really? We're still doing this? This is what, like, I know that's kind of what the general public probably think of Bumblebee now, but come on, do something else. Like, yeah, what was there in the actual episodes didn't seem that entertaining or memorable, but it is like the first 2 episodes of a god knows how long series. And like the structure of it and the promise seems really cool. It's mad that there's like a serialized Transformers cartoon now, because it did not look like that's what Cyberverse was going to be, because it looks like Cyberverse is skewing younger, or at least for the kind of mid-ground Red audience again, or at least a little bit younger than that. I don't know. So it kind of seemed mad. Anything does seem pretty good though after those Machinima YouTube cartoons. You put anything up against that and it looks genius. I think my problem's I'm coming off just binging all of Steven Universe. So kind of seeing a cartoon after that not be as monumentally amazing as like the Steven Universe cartoons are is it's something. I was going somewhere in that sense, but it got away from me. So I'm looking forward to later Cyberverse, I think is my general thought here. I was listening to the Evangelist's podcast, or I don't know if it's Evangelist's podcast, but the podcast he's on, and he was talking about how we'd wait to watch it because it's going to be serial. If it is going to be serialized, he would wait to watch all of it at once, which is probably a good idea. I didn't get much out of just watch. I know episode three's up, but I didn't get much out of just watching episodes 1 and 2, other than being like, oh well, this is a new Transformers cartoon, and it's here, it exists. it's relatively inoffensive. It's got room to go places with like Windblade's city speaking, and she said something about interdimensional like communication. I was like, okay, that's a good thing to see early. Maybe we'll get some universe shenanigans in there. Get like a Shattered Glass episode or something on the go, because they've weirdly been pandering towards that recently. They did that Dark Unicronus Rodimus Shattered Glass look, so maybe that's something they want to do because they're consolidating the brand, as they say. But wasn't expecting that out of Cyberverse this early. And all the characters they put out, because they put out here's all the Autobots and here's all the Decepticons. So I'm really looking forward to Wheeljack because he's got like an amazing robot mustache. Someone's beeping at me on my phone. Oh, we've only got 20% power left and we're coming up to an hour. We should probably finish off. We should probably do my thoughts roundup for this episode, whatever this is. Prime Masters are good. Siege will probably do quite well, I imagine. I imagine Siege will continue being well, because Transformers toys have been continually doing well for all of my life, so it'd be weird if they dropped the ball now. And yes, Cyberverse looks like a cartoon that exists. It seems relatively inoffensive. That the toys seem fine to absurd on the decision making part, at least on why those scouts are like those scouts. But yeah, this has been almost an hour of me waffling about Transformers in varying degrees of my Scotch accent. It's really weird to hear myself. I know this is everyone gets this, but I hear myself back and I'm like, I didn't sound like that. What are you talking about? And it's really hard to not just talk normally, because I don't think I talk like this normally. But because there's a microphone there, I'm slightly changing how I speak, and then I hear that back, and I cringe. It's not good. But aye, maybe we could do this more often. I'll probably won't do it for an hour each time. I was more just taken with the fact that the thing wasn't crashing. I'm going to exit out of this now, and hopefully it archives and saves. You've been a good audience. I've enjoyed you. It's time to go home. Bye.